Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, and you might say I'm a knife guy. I'm a longtime writer, professional knife video host, and award-winning knife designer, and carrying a knife every day is just part of how I stay prepared. I guess that's the Boy Scout in me. So why am I making a video called No Knife, No Problem? Well, for certain instances where you might not be able to have a knife, airline travel, for example, I've got a TSA-Legal solution for everyday carry gear, including cutting implements that you can get onto an airplane, and it fits into a space no bigger than a standard multi-tool. All right, first, let's answer the question, why even bother, right? Because I'm sure there's some of you out there right now going, you don't need a cutting implement or tools on an airplane. Just throw it in your checked baggage anyway if you're so worried about it. Well, one, I've used my items in the terminal, opening up stubborn food packaging. I've even had to make an on-the-fly fix to my kid's car seat, no pun intended, before. So you might need the items, right? That's the whole thing. It's about being prepared, right? You might need these things. Two, checked luggage can be lost, and that's certainly a problem. And three, for folks who like to carry or like to fly carry-on only with no checked baggage, that advice doesn't really help. And maintaining a little bit of control through a little bit of preparation by carrying these items here can sort of take the sting out of the unpredictability of modern air travel and kind of make things a little bit smoother. That's what this whole kit is about. So what should we bring? Well, let's take a look at the Leatherman Wave here as our guide. It's one of the most popular multi-tools on the market and has a really well-rounded set of implements, which we're going to try to duplicate. So excluding the knife blades and the saw, of course, what do we have? Well, we've got needle nose combination pliers with wire cutters, a pair of scissors, a diamond and crosscut combination file, a flathead screwdriver that can act as a bit of a pry bar, and an interchangeable bit driver here that uses Leatherman's flat bit system. We've also got a combination can and bottle opener with a wire stripper notch, although a sharp can opener could potentially raise eyebrows at TSA security, so as long as I get a bottle opener in the kit, I'll consider that a win. We've also got a small eyeglass screwdriver, which honestly, for the purposes of this kit, I'm just going to choose to ignore. Now, if I'm able to duplicate, the bulk of that functionality right there, I'd be pretty happy. But the trick, of course, is doing it in a compact enough space. You don't want to take full-size tools with you. You don't want to carry a toolbox on an airplane, probably. So to make it a challenge, the original Leatherman Wave sheath, I wanted to make sure everything that I brought could fit right in there to keep things nice and convenient. One way to do it, there are actually bladeless multi-tool options on the market today that comply with TSA regulations. The Nextool Mini Sailor Lite, for example. There's also the Roxxon Flex Companion. This thing has swappable tools, and this can be set up for bladeless carry. There's also the Victorinox Jet Setter, and several more Swiss Army knife, quote-unquote, models are in the works that have no blades on them. But instead of carrying a bladeless multi-tool, I actually choose to carry multiple tools for a couple of reasons. One, it helps through security. Now, the problem with a bladeless multi-tool is it still looks like a multi-tool. So if the TSA agent clocks it, best case scenario is it takes you a little bit longer to get through the checkpoint. Worst case, they flag it, they don't let it through, and then you've got nothing. But with the multiple tools approach, even if one of your items does get flagged, you still have most of your kit intact. But spoiler alert, I've never had TSA look twice at my kit, not even once. The other reason I like multiple tools versus a standard bladeless multi-tool here is you generally can get greater capability than what just a multi-tool can provide. And when you're miles away from your home toolkit, that's a good thing indeed. So after some trial and error, here is the kit I bring along. It's nice and small. All the tools are less than 4 inches to fit in that Leatherman Wave sheath, so I've got something that's super handy and low profile on the belt when it's time to carry it. So as I'm going through and actually showing you what's in the kit, if you're interested in picking up any of these items for yourself, I've left some affiliate links in the description of this video, and it would mean a great deal if you use those links. They don't cost you any extra, but I can earn a small commission on that. So it would really support what I'm able to do on this channel. All right, so let's go through what the Leatherman Wave offers and show you what I've got as a replacement item in here. And let's start with the pliers, of course. These are the Kipex Cobra XS water pump pliers. And they're a bit of a darling in the EDC community, you know, amongst YouTube influencers, etc. And honestly, there's pretty good reason for that. They're supremely well made, and the offset jaws and directional teeth allow it to grip and turn with way more strength than you would expect for just a 4-inch tool. Now, you're not going to move mountains with these, of course, but they can turn tough bolts, even big ones. Check out the jaw opening right there, with way more strength than you would expect. And yet they're still precise enough for detail, delicate gripping. Now, unfortunately, the pliers don't come with wire cutters, so you're giving up that bit of functionality, but the plier itself works way more effectively than your standard Leatherman plier. So I'm okay with that trade-off there. They're honestly a truly wondrous little tool, and I think the hype is well deserved. Next up, scissors. And yes, you actually can carry scissors onto an airplane, at least in the US for domestic flights, provided that the tool itself is less than 7 inches overall, which is the TSA limit for any hand tool, and less than 4 inches from the pivot to the tips. And this whole tool is just 4 inches, so that certainly applies there. Now, that information is still current, at least at the time when I'm recording this video. However, should take this opportunity to remind everyone I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, and probably shouldn't be taking legal advice from a YouTube video on the internet anyway, right? So my travel scissor of choice is the Klouse 18009 4-inch blunt nose scissors. Now, I've got friends who've actually given me a bit of a hard time for not choosing a pointier model of scissor, but my reasoning here is that the blunt nose is going to attract less attention from TSA agents, at least theoretically. Even though pointier options should technically be TSA compliant, the last thing I want is the security agent deciding it looks too much like a weapon. So, blunt nose for me. But despite the innocuous appearance of these scissors, these suckers can really cut. Again, kind of like the pliers, it really outcuts its size. I also like that I can spread them wide open and use the edge to open a box in a pinch, kind of like a rudimentary blade. Now, if you have a hard time finding these, Klein makes a pretty decent alternative in the Heritage 444, which is more widely available and usually less expensive too. But for me and my slightly larger than average hands, the bigger finger hoops on the Klouse make them more comfortable, and therefore that's going to be my preferred option. Next, the bottle opener on my daily carry multi-tool is actually probably the most used implement for me, but it's not for the reason you might think. And I've gone with this SwissTech 14-in-1 micro wrench. It's not just a bottle opener. It's got a pry guy here at the end with a nail puller slot, which might be able to do some wire stripping in a pinch. You've also got bicycle spoke adjusters, a 1/4-inch hex slot for screwdriver bits, various hex cutouts here for wrenching, which can actually complement the pliers if you need to work something from 2 sides. So why do I need a bottle opener so much if I'm not opening bottles? Well, this little implement is about the handiest thing I've ever found for getting the little elastic hair ties out of my daughter's hair. I'm able to hook into there and pull the tie out without ripping out too much hair. With my larger fingers, if I'm trying to do it freehand, it can sometimes get a little bit messy. So this does the trick and then some. It's nice and thin, as you can see, and it only costs a couple of bucks. Now, that SwissTech actually replaced a far more expensive piece of gear that I used to carry. My bottle opener and then some was the big Eye Design TPT Slide, which is a utility blade holder with added functionality. Now, the jaw portion here not only houses the blade, but it's also the bottle opener section, and it's got a small universal wrench. You've got the pry guy at the back and the 1/4-inch hex cutout, and it even ships with these unsharpened metal inserts, which are surprisingly good at scoring or punching holes in retail packaging, all without being an actual blade. But the idea with this was you've got functionality as is, and if you want, when you get to your destination, you could pick up a small pack of blades for $1 or $2, throw it in there, and be set. However, In late 2023 sometime, TSA updated their guidance, and utility blade holders, even without a blade installed, are now prohibited, unfortunately. So that removed this as an option for the kit. So to keep these 3 items organized, I'll just show you here real quick. I actually keep them inside the sheath in this little homemade Tyveck holster, for lack of a better word. And Tyveck is just this wonderfully durable and thin material that responds really well to heat. So if you get something like this impulse sealer right here, they're like 20 to 30 bucks, at least when I picked that one up. Combine that with some sheets of this Tyveck and you can make all kinds of cool little caddies and organizers for your gear. Next up, the file, and this one was super easy. This is the 2-sided file that comes with the Leatherman Surge. And Leatherman actually sells these as a replacement kit. Comes with this and the saw blade. They each use this T-shank system to attach to the Surge itself. But this, even without a handle, is super easy to use, especially for smaller duty stuff like this. Just, don't try to take the saw in the pouch as well. Just take the file here. Now to the screwdriver, and honestly, this is the part that was the hardest to get right, or at least it took me the longest. Because being away from home, being away from your toolkit, I wanted to have an option that could use multiple bits. But getting something that was compact enough for that pouch that I use, let's just say it took a little bit of time to get right. Now, I used to carry this Victorinox bit wrench. It's definitely a pretty tidy package and it's very capable too. Each end of the L-shaped wrench can take a standard 1/4-inch bit, and the clip-on rail holds 10 bits as well. So it's very capable and very compact, like I said. Now, this did serve me well on a couple of trips, but in the end, it's just a little bit bulkier than I wanted. So the journey continued. A more compact solution that I like is this, the Olight D1 from O-Knife, or Olight. They make the flashlights as well. And this is sized for 4mm microbits. And it actually comes with 4 double-sided ones in the side of it right there. Now this is the titanium version, which is a little more pricey, but aluminum ones are a fair bit cheaper, which I think was about 20 bucks, at least the last time I checked. But with those 4 double-sided bits, you've got 8 different drives while on the go, but also just a standard 4mm bit will also fit in there. It doesn't have to be double-sided. So that's a great way to carry even more along with you while you're on the go. They also sell a double-sided bit kit that you could grab, which is pretty handy too. The squared off shape of the driver allows you to apply a decent amount of twist to the screw, but if you need even more, it has got a, let me do it the right side, it has got a side hole for extra twist. Now this is what I would be using, but I kept coming back to Leatherman's flat bits. The ability to carry 10 double-sided bits in just one of their slim rails was just too seductive of an option to ignore. But, another but, there's very few drivers out there that are actually capable of using these bits, especially if you want compact. Now, Leatherman's standard bit extender could be used in a pinch, and it's the right size to fit in my pouch as well, but the narrow end there makes it a little bit uncomfortable to use as a standalone driver most of the time. So in the end, it was only by combining 2 smaller products together to create one tool that I was ultimately very happy with. The first is this, the very tiny 711L mini ratchet. And you've got a ratchet end, naturally, with a forward and reverse switch, and a fixed bit holder here on the back. And with the latest versions of this, both ends, the bit holder there and the ratcheting end, are designed to work both with the flat bits and with standard 1/4-inch bits as well. Now I've combined this with this short bit extender from Galvanox. It's designed to work with the Leatherman tools, both the insert here, and it can drive both flat and 1/4-inch bits as well. By adding this to the bottom of the mini ratchet, you get a little bit more leverage, about 3.5 inches overall now for your standard ratcheting. And another cool way to use it, you pop it in the end here, you've got a mini ratcheting L handle, which gives you a little extra torque and real convenient to really crank on. And that's the kit. Let's see how well it fits back in the pouch so you can see I'm not lying to you. So with these items all in the pouch, along with the pen and flashlight I carry, which I'll show you in a minute, I know I have in my travel bag a complete everyday carry so that I can empty my pockets at home, breeze through security, and have everything I need when I'm on the other side. And as you can see, everything fits into this sheath super neatly. I've got a great, easy to carry package that keeps me prepared for whatever I may run into. Honestly, there's always a lot of nonsense you just have to deal with when traveling, especially traveling by air. So with this, it's one less thing I have to think about. It's one less bit of nonsense while I'm traveling. So in the interest of completeness, for the pen, I like the Fisher Bullet Space Pen. Now, it may not be the newest or trendiest piece of gear on the planet, but in fact, it is a classic for very good reason. It's nice and compact, and yet it caps into a full-size writing implement. So it's very comfortable to use. And it has a feature that I think is very, very important for a pen that you're going to be depending on when you're away from home base, and that is the pressurized ink cartridge. It's known for being able to work in outer space, but long and short of it is it's super reliable and it can write almost anywhere, making it another one less thing you have to worry about when traveling. Now, there's certainly a lot of other pens out there that can accept a pressurized cartridge. I would say go for it. No matter your pen of choice, I would always recommend a pressurized cartridge for travel because of their sheer dependability. And my favorite travel flashlight right now is the lightweight and compact Rovivon E8. It's USB-C rechargeable for convenience, but if it runs out of juice on the go, you can actually feed it with a AAA battery, which you can find pretty much anywhere. It's got a moonlight mode, which can help you find your way around a dark hotel room without blasting your eyeballs, as well as brightness up to 700 lumens, both accessible from the off position, which is nice. It's also got a side light module that can do a warm light area light, both low and high. You can do blinky or solid red. It's also got a UV light, which is great for checking for counterfeit money or even the cleanliness of your hotel room. And importantly, it's also got a pocket clip here on the back, which can be used to attach it to the brim of your hat for hands-free usage. It really does cover a lot of bases. Oh, and one more bonus thing, almost forgot to mention, in my wallet every day anyway, not just when I travel, I have the Victorinox Swiss Card Nail Care because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. It pays to have a backup. This is a tool that fits in a credit card slot in your wallet. It has some, basic drivers there, toothpick, pressurized ballpoint pen, back to the pressurized there, tweezers, a decent, actually more than decent pair of small scissors here, and a glass nail file. Now, these things are nice to have in a pinch for sure, but I would not consider them any true alternatives to the bigger tools I've shown already. Everything here is pretty light duty. So that's what I bring when I fly, and as a knife guy, I really can be okay without a knife. I know, it hurts me to even say it. But anyway, I'd love to hear what you folks think too. What do you think of my kit? What do you think about the concept in general? Would you go for multiple tools or a bladeless multi-tool for your flight solution, or nothing at all? Just check a bag or worry about it when you get to home base. Let me know in the comments section. In the meantime, again, if you want to get your hands on any of these items, links in the description are affiliate links for me. They will earn a small commission, which can help me keep making videos like this. They don't cost you any extra, so if you're so inclined, I would certainly appreciate it if you use those. And as well, if you're so inclined, would appreciate liking the video, commenting if you want, and subscribing to the channel so we can keep doing more things. Until then, I'm David C. Anderson, signing off. See you next time.